a beautiful day to get out, Julian.
Yep.
The bikes are in the back.
Yep.
Do we have enough food for 3 days?
Nope.
Where are we headed?
Sultan.
What do you want to do for 3 days?
Ride, swim, and cycle. Oh, is it a ride? Yeah. Cycle, swim, and run, or walk. Jog, slowly.
I've lived in Seoul for a while now. It is a wonderful city to live in, but it can get congested and crowded, and everyone's in a hurry all the time. God help you if you have to take a subway home in the evening. The trains are absolutely crowded. Everyone's in a hurry. Everyone wants to get home as soon as they can. Who are they all running home to? What's actually waiting for them at home? I don't understand. Are they all happily married and just can't wait to get home? Am I the only one who's miserable and living alone? Either way, at least once in 6 months, I need to get out of Seoul just for my own sanity. So Julian, who's my biking buddy, we figured we'd go to Anmyeongdo this time. Even before we got to Seoul, we spotted a fort along the way, so we thought we'd stop and take a look. That's a pretty thing. Not sure what it is. Not sure what it is. It's a bloody fort. That's what it is. Most historic buildings in Korea were burnt down or torn down during the Japanese occupation. So they had to rebuild or reconstruct most of them. This is no exception. So this is a reconstructed fort of the original one. The fort itself isn't very tall, but then again, Julian and I, the very two people they would have wanted to keep out, aren't very tall. So I guess it's okay. We had to buy some food for the trip, so we stopped by an E-Mart at Seoul. Not sure if I've mentioned this before, but Julian's a vegan, and in Korea, that's like the Pope in a brothel. there's not really much you can do. If you're a vegan, you don't really have that many options, especially if you get outside Seoul. But that's also what makes Julian a wonderful traveling companion, because Julian brings a shitload of snacks. Me, on the other hand, I bring fuck all. Anyway, time to buy some stuff. We were soon back on the road, trying to get to the camping spot before it got dark. I guess we weren't the only ones trying to find our way home. Koreans take camping very seriously. They bring lights, table, chairs, a mini fridge, the whole lot. Me and Julian, we brought some food and a tent. That's about it. I had to use the light on my phone to see what I was heating up. Really pathetic. Alright, let me show you the tent. That's a packet of lube. Julian sleeps in that corner. I sleep in this corner, and there is no crossover at any point during the night. Anyhow, before we hit the bed, time to heat up some chicken. And I think Julian is later going to heat up some broccoli.
먹을 건 물어봐. 먹을 거.
I thought I'd wake up to the sound of ocean waves,
어디?
but instead it's this couple screaming their head off. God damn it, woman, tell her where it is.
아우 뭐야. 아니 엄마가 아까 챙겼대도.
In all my years living alone, I've picked up a thing or two about cooking, but this is my breakfast specialty. I make an omelette, but with a twist. Let me show you. Here it goes. Light the stove. Crack open the egg.
Flex. Oh crap.
After eating some boiled eggs, we were on the bike heading out. Now, I bought this bike for around $1,000 7 years ago. It was a big investment for me at that time. I was very pleased with myself, and having spent $1,000 on the bike, I was very happy and smug about it. And I had gone no farther than 500 meters from the shop when a Korean ajushi, an older Korean man, who stopped me and asked me if this was a new bike. And then he asked me how much it cost. I thought he'd never ask. You know those people who spend a lot of money on something they don't really know much about, but they go and buy it anyway? Very proudly I told him $1,000. He looked me dead in the eye and went, "Well, mine's $4,000. What a prick. Koreans spend a lot of money on expensive shit, so you can't really compete with them. But I love this bike. It's taken me all over Korea. I've done Incheon to Busan, I've done the entire East Coast, and it's quite dependable. And it's never broken down on me, ever, not once. Yep, that's a punctured tire. 7 years, and it... Well, what do you do? I'm guessing it's this stretch of the road that caused the problem. Anyhow, I'll have to walk back to the campsite. A while earlier, we had found a better camping spot, so Julian's gone up ahead to pack up the car, and I'm just gonna enjoy the view and walk to the campsite. This is the Taeyeon National Park, and this camping spot is an upgrade from yesterday's camping spot because this is a lot more spacious and there are far fewer people. There is also a running trail and the beach is actually a lot more bigger, and looks like we've arrived just in time to catch the sunset. We're out here in the wild. Well, not wild, but in the dark. So this is the Taeyeon National Park. So we set our tent as far away as possible from everyone else. But it so turns out the people right next to us are loud. Right after this, I walked up to her and asked her to tone it down. She promptly hung up and then she turned to her friend and said, "I wasn't even that loud." Although you can't see me, I promise you I'm there, somewhere. There you go. Good night. Not sure about Julian, but I slept really well. The tide had come in during the night, so you could hear the ocean waves. I absolutely loved sleeping to the sound of the ocean waves. It was so peaceful. I loved it. Anyhow, I want to get my feet wet today. It looks like the tide's gone out, but I'm going to walk all the way.
Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change.
If you ever decide to come here, don't make the same mistake that I made and come with a friend. Bring a friend with benefits. So after it gets dark, you can go out to the beach and do the dirty. The closest I'll ever come to anything wet over the next 2 days are these clams lying around.
Surprised by you. Want you to make my heart
Today's breakfast, meatballs. No eggs today.
I wanna get high on.
I was reading this post on Twitter the other day, and someone asked, "What's your biggest fear?" And a person replied saying, their biggest fear is marrying into a family that runs 5K on Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people don't enjoy running, and I've not really been a runner all my life. This is something I picked up 3 years ago. Now that I'm on a beach, it's even more fun, so I had to go running. I didn't really have much of a choice. And I did one better than Jesus. All Jesus managed to do was walk on water. If you see the map, I actually managed to run on water. Saying I went for a swim in the ocean is a bit of an exaggeration. I'm not really much of a swimmer. I can swim in the pool, but maybe it's a mental thing, but I'm not very good swimming in the ocean. It's a bit embarrassing, really, a grown man who can't swim. Well, let's not make this into a video about the things I can't do. Instead, let's focus on Julian. He's a very good swimmer. Swam around the entire Korean peninsula twice to raise money for all kinds of vegan causes. I'm hoping to convince him to swim again to raise money for a poor Indian like me so I can buy a drone. The DJI Mavic Air 2. That's the one I want, Julian. So swim, Julian, swim. While Julian was out swimming, raising money for my drone, I got back to the shore. I was really hungry. Time for some ramen. There is a weather forecast for heavy rains in the evening, and our tent being quite flimsy, we decided it would be a safer bet to get to a motel in the evening. And I have to fix my bike anyway, so we slept for a while and we went off to a motel. It was still raining when we got to the motel. You can always find a cheap motel in the Korean countryside. They cost around 40 to 50 bucks for a night. It's nothing fancy, but it's a nice place to sleep.
Look at that. Can you see that? Look at that. Whoa, see? That's what punctured the whole thing. Whoa.
I fixed the bike and the next day it was actually quite sunny and nice, and Julian invited me for a swim. I love the ocean, but I enjoy swimming as much as the Kardashians enjoy a hard day's work. So while Julian went off swimming, I jumped back on the bike and I thought I'd get to the tip of the peninsula. I mean, I spent 2 hours fixing the bike. What's the point of fixing a bike if I can't enjoy the fruits of my labor? You don't see the Kardashians sleeping with some rich guy and then not getting pregnant. So if you're willing to put in the work, you've got to enjoy the benefits of it.